Happy Halloween to everyone out there watching Card Central 365 here on STL Sports Central, a spooky edition with Ryan Fagan and myself, Joe Roderick. Game 6 of the World Series is tonight, but Ryan, we're not going to break that down. We're not going to talk about that. I just, as you know, we're 2 days removed now from watching Trey Yesavage have just another incredible outing in the World Series. He has really kind of taken this stage by storm and baseball by storm.
Yes.
And the more I look at this, like I just, I keep trying to find these parallels to give me hope, to give me a reason to believe in Cardinal baseball for the next year.
Yeah.
And it's just, okay, we are in an unprecedented time with the Cardinals of seeing them have the last 2 drafts have top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And we're in an era of college baseball players being at a level, being more major league ready than we've ever seen them before. So when you look at a 22-year-old who started his career playing in Jupiter, Florida this season, and working his way up through the system, when you have the number 5 pick in the draft, a strikeout pitcher who went and completed all of college in Liam Doyle.
Yeah.
And is it fair to kind of have expectations for him to be, again, I mean, what we're seeing now, I mean, I'm seeing, it's Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson type numbers that you're Pedro Martinez.
First guy ever to have 12 strikeouts and 0 walks in a World Series game.
Yeah. And so I'm not putting this on it, but I'm just saying, like, that top of the line ace type pitcher that you drafted number 5 overall in Liam Doyle. Is that asking too much?
No, I think, but I mean, maybe throwing comps on there, but to your point, I think what you're trying to say is, like, this is why when they talk about swing and miss, right? Does a pitcher have swing and miss?
Yeah.
Can they go out there and when they're throwing strikes, dominate anyone? And, we were talking before we started, like, just kind of like the contrast between what Yesavage made this year. It was like $57,000 after he was called up, compared to what the Dodgers lineup made this year, over 140 million. None of that mattered because this kid's got strikeout stuff, right? And I think when you're looking at the Cardinals draft philosophy this year and getting a guy like Doyle, I mean, Yesavage's last year at East Carolina, right? I'm looking at the numbers here: 93 strikeouts, 145 innings. Doyle's last year at Tennessee, 95 strikeouts, 164 innings. So similar innings totals, better strikeout numbers. That's what you're trying to draft, because if you can draft that, you can mold them into a pitcher like the Jays have done with Yesavage. And I think that's kind of when you're looking at, is that possible for Doyle? Yeah. I mean, he's got that stuff, right? I mean, he had one of the best games we've ever seen in the World Series. Right. Doesn't matter, rookie, whatever. So, I mean, to say that Doyle's going to do that, whatever. There's lots of guys that can strike up people, but that's what you're trying to build toward, is to build a farm system with guys like that, so you can have someone who catches lightning in a bottle and makes 4 or 5 good starts in October. And all of a sudden that changes everything, because the Jays team that is playing now is, without him, is not the team that was in. I mean, I know they were in first place in the AL East most of the year, but it wasn't, a 105 win team. They are playing like, with him at the top of that rotation and Gausman and all the other guys, they're playing like a team that could have won 110 games in the regular season. Yeah.
In their college numbers, both 3 years of college ball, as you mentioned, Liam Doyle, 207 innings, 317 strikeouts. That's good for an average of about 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Same too, 13 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings for Yesavage. And which should be noted too, Trey Yesavage played in the American Conference at East Carolina.
Not the SEC.
All 3 years. Not the SEC. Which, again, if you talk to scouts, if you talk to people that are making these big league decisions here in 2025, they are comparing SEC baseball to AA baseball right now. So that's why you saw the Cardinals kind of push Doyle up into the AA level as quickly as they did, and so okay, we've seen enough. Okay, let's get you up there.
One
ready
start
to go.
in low A, an A ball. Yeah, they moved him up. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I think that's what, when you talk about a new draft philosophy, and I mean, really, let's be honest, it should have been the draft philosophy for a long time. They haven't necessarily done that, and as they've gone out and tried to add different players, but this is why we're seeing why that is so important, and that is something that they've, Chaim Bloom has talked about, and the Cardinals have talked about. This is how they're going to try to build things going forward. And I mean, like I said, that's why. What we saw in Game 5 is exactly why. It may never happen quite like that, but you have to give yourself a chance to make it happen.
Right.
And they are.
There are some things that I think we're overlooking. I'll get to those in just a second. But hey, tomorrow is November 1st, which means we are 1 month away from that big December 1st date. For many of you in Missouri, excited to get in on the DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers, you can download that DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live on December 1st, you place a $5 bet and unlock $300 in bonuses. Starting December 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets when you put that $5 bet in when we go live on December 1st. This is in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
I think one thing that many people are going to overlook in the developments that we have seen, and what was it, 3 starts in the major leagues and then all throughout the postseason for Yesavage. Look at the rest of that rotation around him. It is, I mean, I will admit, like, I completely forgot that Shane Bieber was a Cy Young Award winner, was on the
it's 2020 though.
But still, Max Scherzer also on that. What I'm saying, my point is he's learning from those guys. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah. I'm not saying that Shane Bieber is a Cy Young level pitcher today. What I'm saying is he has in that rotation, in that bullpen, in that dugout when he's not pitching, he has a hell of a lot of knowledge of pitching. Kevin Gausman has been a stud for many years now at the top of their rotation. Like, he has these guys to kind of learn from. I don't know if Liam Doyle is going to have that at his disposal when he gets down to Roger Dean in February.
It doesn't feel like that.
No,
that's for sure. And you're right. That's a good point. I'm kind of learning from that. And that's where, you talk about coaching and all these different things that the Cardinals are trying to assess and to kind of change the way the bodies, some of the bodies they have in the dugout. And that's where that comes in to play. And I think that's why, a guy like Sonny Gray is still valuable in that aspect, even if, whether he's gonna be around or not, who knows at this point. But, that's in the back of their mind. I'm sure they're thinking that, he's the guy that these guys can learn from.
And that was kind of the point with McGreevy. Like, for the beginning of last year, it got to a point where it's like, you're calling him up, you're making this start, and then you're sending him out right away. Like, let the guy soak some of this in.
Right.
Like,
he's been St. Louis for like a day and a half or something.
Right. Like, you're not learning anything about any kind of off day, the routines that go on at the major league level, because it is still a big jump from AAA to the major leagues with all of the things that are at your disposal, and just some of the, just the little things, and whether it's the training room and stuff like that you're going to have in at Busch that you're not going to have down in Memphis.
Yeah. And the access to the major league coaches, as we were talking about this, kind of what we were talking about today, there are some names that kind of stand out that have done kind of like what Yesavage is like, made the impact. And for Cardinals fans, and there's one name, obviously, in Michael Wacha,
who was brought up in the broadcast the other day. They did.
Yeah.
They were the Game 5. I believe it was Game 5. They were talking about Michael Wacha's 2013 and just how impressive. And I think it's one of those, as incredible it is that Michael Wacha is still pitching in 2025. Like, you go back and you look at what he did. Like, he had been around for so long, you really do kind of forget. Like, damn, like he was busted on the scene in a big way.
He was this guy that, like, because the Cardinals had, you know, in their rotation, they had Wainwright, they had Lynn, they had Miller and Jake Westbrook for part of the year. And so they had these people, they had these good pieces in place. And then Wacha comes up and all of a sudden he gets into the postseason and nobody can touch him. I'm looking at his first 3 starts on the Baseball Reference game logs. I mean, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 2/3 shutout, 7 shutout innings. You know, and then finally, you know, he pitched well in the first game of the World Series. The Red Sox kind of got to him in Game 6, but I mean, the Cardinals don't make that run in deep into the World Series without Michael Wacha doing what he's done. And I think that's kind of the point: is you have these pieces that you put in place, and if you can have a rookie, you know, Brandon Pfaadt with the Diamondbacks a couple of years ago was really good going into that. You know, Walker Buehler in 2017 came up and gave, you know, the Dodgers a big boost, and he had a great World Series start. So if you can have the farm system ready to accentuate what you have in the big leagues, it makes a big difference. I mean, you can go through the list of World Series winners, and there's a lot of them that wouldn't have done it without youngsters coming up and playing better than anyone thought they could have. Especially when you got on the mound a pitcher like that.
And that's you know, you're just bringing up the pitchers right now with this. We have seen a lot. I mean, we saw with the Guardians, you know, I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head right now, but getting his first major league hit in the postseason, the center fielder for the Guardians that just did it a few weeks ago. Like,
Chase Delauder,
yes. And so
I thought you were going back to 16.
No. I'm just talking about it and all. Like, you're just seeing more and more of this, where that was Mackenzie Gore made his major league debut against the Cardinals in 2020, didn't he, in the postseason?
Maybe, I think so.
Or he was on the roster in that 3-game wild
card. I remember
card.
It was Alberto Mondesi for the Royals. 2015 was the first person ever to make his major league debut and now, because they've changed the rules a little bit, which is why it's happening more now than it used to. Because used to you had to be up, and now you just kind of have to be on the 40 man to get in, as long as there's an injury replacement. But that's into another tangent. But that could be just a guy who's on the 60-day all year. It doesn't matter, right? It's different, but it is like you have these guys, you have this farm system, and it's partially it's to build guys in who can be contributors over years, but you want to have, it's nice to have something in the minors that you can pull out and use a specific skill that they have to win games in October.
Like I said, kind of unprecedented times with being a Cardinal fan right now, when you have 2 guys coming up that were top 10 picks in the draft in back-to-back years. Something that can't has ever happened with the Cardinals organization.
They just didn't pick there.
So it's, you know, it's something to be excited about. Maybe a topic for another day is, which one are you more excited about? If you had to pick one. You had to pick one to be that next superstar. Which one's it going to be? But for today, we're just gonna we're just gonna compare Liam Doyle's potential to what we're seeing out of Trey Yesavage in the World Series in the postseason as a whole. Leave your comments on this, and if you think he can live up to that kind of hype, let us know what you think on that. We'll be back with you tomorrow for another edition of Card Central 365. Will the World Series be over? We'll be talking about a Game 7. Find out tomorrow morning. He's Ryan Fagan. I'm Joe Roderick. We will talk to you tomorrow.